fit in it? When you picture the future, did they fit in it? Not did they want to fit, not did they say they wanted a future with you. When you imagine the version of your life you were actually building towards, the growth, the peace, the clarity, the life that reflects who you're actually becoming, did they fit? Did they fit? If the honest answer is no, or I don't know, or I stop letting myself think about it, yeah, that's not a small thing. That's the whole thing. Let them go. Let them go. Let them go. Question 5. Were you afraid of what they'd do if you left? I'm gonna pause for a moment. I'm gonna let you think about that. I'm gonna pause for a moment. I'm gonna let you think about that. Were you afraid of what they would do if you left? Not sad, not conflicted, afraid. Afraid of their reaction. Afraid of the guilt they place on you. Afraid of how they talk about you after. Afraid of falling apart without them. Not because you love them, but because you'd made yourself so dependent on their presence to regulate your own peace. See, I'm not cousin. I'm going to tell you, look, bump them. If they are not helping you reach the goal, if they're not helping you grow, if they, are not, pushing you forward, bump them. Bump the guilt that they're gonna try to place on you, because that's their own fear. You can say, yep, nope, Here's the mirror. Here's the mirror. Let that look at yourself. That guilt you're trying to give me, yeah, bounce off the mirror and back on you, yeah. If they want to talk about you, let them talk. Let them talk. Let them tell whoever they want to tell. Because that is, let me see, what do you call, there is no bad publicity. So they may be talking about you, but your actions and what you're doing, will show proof, show the truth. When you're prospering, without them, the people who they talk bad about you to will see, well, yeah, they're doing good. So, yeah, the problem wasn't them, it was you. Don't worry about feeling like you're going to fall apart without them. You were doing fine before them. You were not falling apart before them. So why would you fall apart after them? You just pick up where you left off at before you even start messing with him or her. Kick them to the curb like last season's fashion. If fear was part of why you stayed, we need to name that. Not shame it, name it. Because love doesn't hold you through fear. Love holds you through choice, through mutual commitment, through shared vision. If the only reason you stayed because leaving felt worse, you weren't choosing them, you were avoiding yourself. Interrogation concluded. Let the answer sit in front of you for a moment. Don't run from it. Don't rationalize them. Just let them be true. All right. The real reason they left. This is the part people come here for, right? And it's the part they're also terrified of. Because they want a clear villain. They want one clean answer. They want to say, it was them. You did nothing wrong. You were perfect. See, but listen, honey child. Listen, friend. Listen, family. Confession court can't give you that. Not because it's not partially true. Sometimes you know, really were doing everything right. But because clean answers produce clean feelings and clean feelings don't produce growth, so here are the real reasons, the uncomfortable ones, and you decide which ones apply to you, to your situation. Reason one, they weren't ready. Yeah, you probably heard that all the time. We ain't doing the SpongeBob, I'm ready. No, they weren't ready. Not ready for love, not ready for accountability, not ready to be chosen well by someone who actually had standards. Some people have never been in a healthy relationship. They were raised on dysfunction, normalized chaos, learned that love equals tension. And when they encountered something peaceful, something consistent, something that didn't make them fight to earn love, it didn't feel like love. It felt like a trap. So they left. Not because you were wrong, because you were too right for where they were. That happens. I've been through it. That happens. Reason two, their eternal work wasn't done. They had wounds they hadn't touched, patterns they hadn't examined, a version of themselves they kept protecting instead of healing. And your love, your presence, started to press on those wounds, not intentionally, just by proximity. Love at a certain depth requires you to show up, to be seen, to be accountable, and some people would rather leave than be seen. Reason three. This one is hard to accept because it removes the narrative of blame, but sometimes two people are genuinely incompatible in timing. Not character, not love, not effort, timing. And I know this firsthand because there's, a person out there who I actually grew up with who, we spent time together, we, we're best friends, we knew that we would be good together, but each time we tried to be together was at the wrong time. Either I was with somebody or they was with somebody, but we were never single at the same time. So it was just timing. You were ready to build. They were still figuring, out who they were, or you needed roots and they needed motion. It can be like that too. Two people can love each other and still be wrong for each other right now. Timing isn't a consolation prize. It's real and devastating truth. Two people can love each other and still be wrong for each other, right now. Time isn't a consolation prize. It's a real and devastating truth. Reason four, you stopped being who you were. Think about that for a moment. You stopped being who you were. This one is hardest to heal. Yes, this one is hardest to heal. Not because it's your fault, but because it happened slowly and you may not have noticed. The person you were attracted to, the version of you that lit up rooms, that had fire in their voice, that moved through the world with conviction, over time, under the weight of trying to hold the relationship together, that version got quieter. You started managing, accommodating, shrinking. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, the very thing that kept them there in the beginning was the version of you that needed to come back. That's not permission to blame